Wow, Griffin Halsey?
Oh, not you two.
My granddad loved your movies.
Your granddad? Well, that makes me feel a lot better.
They were amazing. I didn't like the guy playing you, though. You are way cooler looking.
That's me. Too pretty for the movies.
That intro took me so long to make that my arse is now glued to my chair. So if you haven't already checked it out, E. Griffin has officially been released in Evolve Stage 2. So in this video, I thought I'd show you sort of what he is and what he does, and also the other subtle changes that have kind of come with him. For those of you that don't know, there's actually quite a lot of lore behind all the characters in Evolve. In fact, they all have sort of backstories, but Griffin used to be a movie star, and so Electro Griffin's basically an 80s themed character that's meant to be Griffin in one of his films. It's actually quite nice to see that Turtle Rock have kind of done this. It's kind of a silly variant in comparison to the other ones they've done, like a little bit less serious, but I have to say they've really pulled it off and actually is a fantastically fun character to play. So starting off with Griffin's main weapon, which is his harpoon gun, which for Electro Griffin they've renamed to the Final Lockdown. So the idea is it's an electric harpoon gun, so as long as the monster is pooned, it will continue to do damage, which is pretty effective, but against good monsters they will genuinely knock it off pretty quickly. And of course, to add to that 80s theme, they've got that guitar solo going on when you do hold it.
Oh yeah, it's totally radical.
Now, if you're a new player, you're probably wondering why you would now use the normal Griffin, because E. Griffin does damage with his harpoon, whereas Griffin doesn't, so you're like,
Oh my god, Griffin now sucks, fuck you, Griffin.
well, the variants are quite different from the OG version, but they definitely aren't better. In fact, they're supposedly about the same, but obviously certain things about E. Griffin are better than OG Griffin, but then certain things about Griffin are better than E. Griffin. So for instance, although the Final Lockdown, you can do damage to the monster, you can only actually hit the monster up to 25 meters, whereas OG Griffin, you can hit up to 45 meters, which is obviously almost double the range. And at least in my opinion, that's why I think OG Griffin kind of takes the cake for me, because I think Griffin is most effective on the chase, and I'd rather have that length on the harpoon than have a harpoon that does damage. Especially since the monsters I play against, they hit off the harpoon pretty quickly, I just find that that extra length is going to be a lot more beneficial. Now, in replacement of the machine pistol, we have the laser storm, and I have to say, I love the effects on this one. So basically, it isn't really a damaging weapon, but it's purely for simply stasising the monster or slowing down the monster. Just take note that the monster in this video has got a movement speed perk, so that's why it doesn't look like it's affecting it that much, but it certainly does, and it's like any stasis effect in the game. It basically simply slows the monster's movement. Then it does have other benefits, so you can actually run and shoot at the same time, whereas with Griffin you actually can't, but unfortunately you can't aim down the sights, and your accuracy is about the same as a Star Wars Stormtrooper. So when you are playing E. Griffin, you have to get pretty damn close to make sure you're actually continuously getting that stasis and also the poon, and you want to keep rotating between the two, or at least that's the idea, so there's no point in reloading. So in comparison to the machine pistol, I find from a personal point of view, if you've got quite good aim, you'll probably find that your damage output is going to be a lot more if you can actually shoot well with the machine pistol, but I still think the laser storm is good, but I think if you can definitely go for those headshots, I still prefer OG Griffin, but that's just my opinion, and I think both characters definitely have something to offer. Finally, Electro Griffin sound spikes aren't actually that different from the OG version. The simple difference is they have a lot less radius, and the other thing is they will actually pick up the monsters sneaking, whereas the OG version actually won't within a certain radius. I thought initially as an added thing it'd be quite cool if E. Griffin's sound spike kind of sent out an electric pulse that maybe prevented the monster from eating or eating easily. I found against good monsters, not a lot of them tend to sneak right now, or very rarely, so you have to be very precise about where you place a sound spike. Sneaking might become a little bit more popular as they add in certain perks, but we'll have to wait and see. It's a little bit too early to tell whether E. Griffin has a lot more potential, but I think that both characters can be played pretty effectively, although I still do prefer the normal Griffin. So if you actually haven't bought either of the Griffins yet, I highly recommend that you go for the OG version first. I think that will be a lot more effective, so don't be, kind of drawn in by the pretty colours. But having said that, he's definitely viable, and as long as you play him correctly, you should be, pretty effective with him. Now, of course, with E. Griffin, there's quite a few updates that have come to the game, one of which is now the poon radius to hit off for monsters is a lot more, because originally, hitting poons was a little bit of a pain. In fact, it's stupidly ridiculous. So monsters can hit the poon off a lot easier. We were just testing it out here to see, how easy it was to actually hit off as monster. Then some unrelated updates. You can now eat trap jaws. You actually weren't able to before, and it was confusing new players that were coming into the game, and, we couldn't work out why they couldn't eat a trap jaw. So Each trapjaw now gives 1 meat, so if you do come across a pack of them, I highly recommend you to kill them and eat them, because it's just free meat, and also they are far easier to kill than most wildlife. Then the other change was actually to Jack's repulsor. They've made it so that it's supposedly meant to be more obvious to new players how it's actually working. So basically it's grey when it's not working, and then it goes green when it's actually holding the monster. And I think the other version of it actually wasn't that bad, and it actually looked like it was repulsing something. Now you have this sort of random bar. Not something I'm really fussed about, but just know that because of this change, if you're a new player, I have a deep hatred for you, and I hope your whole family drowns. There has obviously been some other subtle nerfs and buffs to certain hunters and monsters. E-Griffin was of course the main part of the update, but I have to say in comparison to the other variants to come, E-Griffin's pretty damn tame, and I have to say I'm super psyched for you to see the future variants, which in my opinion are a lot more epic. If you didn't watch the Evolve game livestream, the next variant is actually going to be Quantum Kyra, and that's when variants get a little bit insane, but obviously I'll leave that as a surprise, and I'm sure a lot of you are going to be absolutely psyched to see that. But yeah guys, that was the E-Griffin update, so I'll leave a link in the description to the patch notes if you want to see all the buffs and nerfs that have come with this update. But otherwise than that, I hope you enjoyed the video. Subscribe to become a Bro Man Dude guy today, and I'll see you in the next one.